13. So we're going to go back. We're going back to 5.4. And we're going to do the problems. We're going to do the problems that we skipped. And those are the ones with the word or. Now, generally speaking, when it has or, often the arrows will go in the opposite direction. Every once in a while, they do overlap. So I want to make sure that we understand if you see the word or, it means one or more of the inequalities is going to be true. Okay? So for example, if we go back to the and, right? I need to make sure all my numbers are true for both of these statements, right? So let's say like 0. Is 0 less than 4?
Yeah.
And is 0 greater than or equal to -1?
Yeah.
So with the word and, we need both of them to be true. With the word or, we need one or the other.
So you need one to be true.
Okay. So this is not necessarily where they overlap. This is going to be basically anything shaded.
What? That's weird.
But if it doesn't overlap, you just put no shaded.
Okay, if they end up overlapping.
What do you mean anything shaded?
Well, we have to do an example first. But so if they tend to overlap, it depends. If they cross each other completely, then it's going to be all reals. So we'll look at some examples of those. Okay? Let's. Okay. So first thing, we want to solve the solution. So this is going to be A is less than 3. Or add 1. A is greater than or equal to 4. So let's look at the way we would graph this. No, so with the word or, okay, just like when we had and, you either had to write it all together as one or you had to include the word and. Let's take a look. We want A is less than 3. Okay. Or A is greater than or equal to 4. So here's 4. Okay, it's not all reals though. So with the word or, both of these regions, so what did I say? The solution is going to be anything that we shaded. Okay, if the word said and, but it doesn't say and. So if I said, could you pick a number that's less than -3?
Yeah, wait.
Or could you pick a number that's greater than or equal to 4? Yeah.
So what's the answer?
So the answer is this whole thing.
Wait, what page is it?
Okay.
It's low-key like easier.
So anything shaded, meaning we don't have to look at where they overlap. Okay, where did I shade? I shaded to the left and to the right. So that both of these parts, that's my solution.
What page is it?
This is 13.
Okay.
Okay. Let's look at the next one. Okay, x is less than or equal to 9, so there's nothing to do there. Or, let's solve this part of the equation. So we'll subtract 2 first. So we have 4x is less than, what's 10 minus 2?
8.
8. And then we want to divide both sides by 4. So I get x is less than 2. So it says x is less than or equal to 9. I'm just bringing this down. Or x is less than 2. Now this one's unusual because they're going to overlap. Well, let's see. X is less than or equal to 9. So here's 9. We want.
Oh, it's on the other graph.
Oops, thanks. Okay. Or x is less than 2. It's okay.
What the heck?
Okay, now what do we notice? They end up overlapping each other.
No solution.
But no, they do have a solution. What is the one that shades in the most?
The first one.
The first one. So when it says here, it's not going to be a true statement. It's just that the answer is just going to be x is less than or equal to 9. Because think about this for a minute. If I pick something that's smaller than 2, like 0, is 0 smaller than 2? Isn't that also smaller than 9? So remember what I said, anything shaded. So The fact that this shaded in everything overlapping here means this part that I shaded in red doesn't matter really. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one.
I need to blow my nose, actually. My nose.
For C, let's go ahead and solve. So I'm going to subtract 1. I get 3z is less than 12.
It's gonna be on the test.
And then we're going to divide both sides by 3.
When is the test?
So z is less than 4. Okay, we're going to work on the notes. Okay, I don't want to answer questions unrelated to what we're doing. Okay, now I'm going to bring down. There was nothing to solve here, so it says or z is less than or equal to 1. Notice these are both less than. So remember on the previous one, my answer was actually which one shaded in more. So let's take a look. Z is less than 4. So that would be here. Or z is less than or equal to 1. So which one ended up shading more of the region?
Z less than.
So that's going to be my actual answer here. So I didn't really need this part because this ended up shading more of the region. So anytime it's or, it's as much as shaded. And if something happens to overlap, that's fine. It's just we don't need that as part of our answer. Okay, now let's write a compound inequality. So now we want to write, this is, so anytime it shades away from, this is going to be or. So what number do we have here? Okay, so x is less than -2, or x is greater than 2. Okay.
X is less than or equal to -4.
X is
Less than or equal to.
are you sure it's -4?
Wait, why is
Or
our
-6.
That's -6. So
Oh.
this is -6. So it's going to be x is less than or equal to -6. Why is it less than or equal
And
to?
then positive x.
Because it's a closed circle.
How
X
do you know
is
which
greater
direction
than
it's going?
4. X is greater than 4.
Or x is greater than or equal to 4.
How do you know what direction it's going?
Yeah, Evan is right.
Oh, you know what? I just realized this doesn't have a shade.
Why am I?
Good catch, Evan.
Evan.
Okay.
You're
Here's
right.
what I'm going to do. If it's just a dot, we're just going to put an equal to sign because there's no shaded part. So it's just going to be x is equal to -6 or, and then
Will there
that
be
part
one
is
of them?
shaded. Okay, C we should already have done because that was shading in between. That was and.
Guys, when do you first sign?
Not today.
After bonus.
No, it's not today.
Really?
Yeah.
Good?
There's no C period today.
Okay, let's take a look
Yes,
at
no,
1,
C.
2, and
It's at
3.
I didn't do this on.
I did.
Rich. What
How
was
was it today?
What was C?
It's not long. If you do it right.
C we already did.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I have a question. Can I do?
Okay, so yeah, what would we do for number? Let's do, so the next page, let's fill in the ones that we didn't do.
Let me do it.
Okay, what do we want to do first?
So first, for the first one, you do -7
Good.
to all sides.
So 3 is greater than,
-3w.
good. And then we're going to divide both sides by
3. So you get.
-3.
So you get.
Okay, so it's going to be -1.
I mean, -1 is greater than.
Okay, so what happens?
No, it's the other way.
We're going to switch it. So it's going to be less than W.
W. And then for the other one, you do -6. Wait, why wouldn't you do plus? Oh, yeah, you're right.
You have to put the ors. How do you make
Yeah.
Then you get, I don't know what that is.
-12 minus 6. So if you have two negatives, you're going to add them.
-18.
-18. So now we're going to divide both sides by -3. Okay, so W. Okay, so let me just rewrite this. This is going to be W is greater than -1 or W is less than 6. So remember, I always want to rewrite it so that the variable's on the left side. So I want greater than -1.
I don't have enough space to write all this.
So use a separate sheet of paper. Okay, so I want greater than -1 or no, less than 6. Okay, what do we notice this time? It overlaps the whole number line. What
She
do you
circled the whole
think?
thing.
It's the whole thing. And what are we actually going to write? What happens when we have all possible answers? All real numbers. So in this case, I'm going to use our fancy R with the extra line, because whenever we have the word or and they overlap the whole number line, remember I said anything shaded. Well, if we shade the whole number line, that means it's going to be all reals. Okay, let's try number 2. Anybody want to help me out with number 2? Kobe?
I tried it.
Kobe first. You could do the next one, Eli. Go ahead. What do we want to do first? Plus 4 on both sides. So h is less than or equal to negative 3.
Plus 5 on both sides. Or
Minus 5.
So h is greater than -7.
Okay, so h is less than or equal to negative 3 or greater than negative 7.
So they don't cross.
Oh, they do. What happens again?
All real.
All real numbers. So we ended up shading in the whole thing, right?
Oh yeah, because one goes this way.
Yeah.
And the other goes the other way.
Okay, let's do number 3.
Wait, just guys, isn't it technically 7 in the morning?
What?
Isn't it technically 7:50 in the morning? Because it's daylight saving.
Right. Well, no. So these clocks have already been changed, though.
So it's actually 9.
It's almost 9. It feels like it's almost 8. Right? We should feel like it's an hour
So
earlier, but
early?
it's actually almost 9.
Wait, so would it actually be 7:52?
Yeah. 2 days ago it would have been 7. Okay, Eli, help me out with number 3. Okay, Eli, what do we want to do first?
2 days ago we would have brought this here right now.
You wanna
Divide both.
divide by 2x.
Divide by 2. So we get x is less than, what's 6 divided by 2? It's 3.
Then
Or,
plus 1 into x is greater than -4.
okay, so it's less than 3 or greater than -4. Oh, what do we notice again? It overlaps, so what are we going to write? All reals.
This is so what the heck, man?
Okay, last one and then we'll work on the worksheet. Okay, we want to write the inequality. So, what would we write for this one?
So you do -5 is
You fall asleep.
X is less than -5 or
x is
greater than or equal to
7.
7.